Okay. Hope I'll be able to get through this video before somebody calls and, interrupt the video. But I think it's necessary to do it because I'm very, very concerned with the crime against our children in Jamaica. I am very troubled by it. I am so concerned. I'm especially concerned because I'm not hearing anything from the Prime Minister or from the opposition, right? Um, we know fighting the crime is everybody's business. It's not like you're going to sit and depend on the government entirely to do anything. Well, if they were going to do anything, I think by now something would happen. But we're not seeing any change, we're not seeing any decrease. And the recent trend with the children being targeted, it is very concerning. It is very, very concerning to me as a mother, and I really don't think I should sit down and shut up. There are many avenues to let your voice be heard or to speak, and social media is one free way, right? I don't need nobody permission to do a video. I don't need nobody permission to get a Facebook live out so you can talk to the people. Now, I made a few posts on my page this morning because one, I was asking pastors for the 2nd of June to commit that Sunday to the children's Child Safety Awareness Sunday, if we call it that. And it's a Sunday where we have corporate prayer, inviting all the churches to be praying for our children. Something spiritually is wrong. We would love to be able to pray for the children on that Sunday in particular and designate at least 5 to 10 minutes to give some safety tip to the children. Could invite a police officer to come in to the service and speak to the children. Something has to be done. If it's not being done at the governmental level, because I'm not sure what this deafening silence is all about. So if it's not being done at your level, we still have influencers in our society. We still have the pastors who have great influence. We have principals, we have teachers. You have influence over all the children in your classroom. Give them some safety tips. It is very crucial at this point. Let the children understand to walk in groups, walk in company. Don't walk alone. As much as is possible, walk in company. I am not going to be bashing parents that you should be telling the children, you should be going with your children all the time. I know that is virtually impossible. I'm a parent myself. You can't always be with your children 24/7. Sometimes they will have to walk alone, and they have to walk alone. We have to teach them survival skills. When we were younger, a lot of us, we walked to school, or some of us took the bus to school. So kids will have to travel alone at times, but we have to teach them safety skills. Walk in groups. A lot of times they're children and they're going to be immature. We don't expect them to be acting like adults. But because the time is so serious for them, we have to try help them to grow up a little faster. Don't be on your cell phone talking, and not paying attention to your environment. You don't know who's scouting you out. You're at the bus stop, somebody watching you. They know you're not paying attention. They know you're very distracted because you're on the cell phone. And they may just start targeting you from the bus stop. Be very aware. If you're walking, take quick glances behind you. Those are things you have to do, especially if your parent not there. Do not give your information to strangers. A lot of children have access to cell phones and to social media, right? There are some parents who do not allow their kids to use social media. Kudos to you. The vast majority of children are on social media. It is what it is. Encourage them not to give their information to strangers online. Encourage your children not to take bribe. Don't let nobody bribe you with no candy, no sweetie, or no money or whatever. If somebody makes you uncomfortable and want you to do something, don't do it. It's just too much happening. We see where they had the ad for work in the country and they're calling people to come out for interviews and they're kidnapping and killing these women. Something is wrong. And we're not hearing it from the government as to what is wrong. I don't know why the opposition not speaking out. And especially, I am disappointed because if Andrew Holness not talking, I think Juliet Holness should say something. As a mother, come on. Let me tell you something. You see, for those who don't have children, you wouldn't even understand, You don't understand the level of care that you have for your kids as parents. As they're out of your sight, you're worrying and fret, and especially if you're a parent like I am. It takes a lot. It really does. And to have parents living in fear because your children have to go to school, their normal daily activities, you shouldn't have to, be riddled with fear because, the child might not come home. Something really wrong. So teach them about the proper use of social media, not to be talking to strangers, not be giving their address or any private information to strangers online. Also talk to them, foster relationship so that they do not try to keep secrets from you. So as my daddy, for instance, when I was growing up, I could talk to my daddy about just about everything, anything. Any boy like me, daddy was going to know. Any boy make a move at me, daddy was going to know. And there was protection in that. I remember when I was in high school, this boy took set on me, and for the life of me, and he knew I was, afraid. So every evening I was going home from school, this boy, whichever bus I was on, he was going to lay wait me. He was going to find me. If he was on another bus, he was a conductor. He was going to leave the bus if ever he glanced me. And I told my daddy about it. And let me tell you something. My daddy came to the bus stop one evening with me with his machete, and daddy took that boy off the bus and gave him a fine warning, and that boy never troubled me again. That was the end of that for me. Now for those who can afford the iPhones, the iPhone has a good tracking system. My kids call it stalking, whatever. That wasn't enough. Now I don't need to stalk. But of course I still have to give safety tips. But it has a good tracking system, so wherever the child is, when you alert the police, they can track them, or you can track them yourself from the Find My iPhone. I'm not sure about the Android. They may have their own safety feature. If they have it, parents, use it. Teach the children to always say where you're going, and make sure wherever you say you're going, that's where you go to. So if you say you're going to your friend, you go to your friend. If you say you're going to buy ice cream, you're going to buy ice cream. If you're going to the shop, you're going to the shop. So let them learn that. I know it's more challenging when they're teenagers and they want to feel like you trust them and they want to feel like they're somewhat independent, and we understand that about teens, but you have to be able to communicate to them. It's not about trust. I trust you. I don't trust the other person. The world is dangerous, and if I don't see you back at a certain time, then, I know something might be wrong, because I know usually when you tell me something, or if you say you're going somewhere, that's exactly where you go. Right? Kids, go where you tell your parents you're going. That's very important. Your parents love you and they care about you, and they don't want to lose their mind over you. It is such a torment, if you do not know what is happening with your children. It is such a torment. I guess it's the worst torment you could ever put a parent through. I'm asking the church to speak out. The church is such an influential force. You can't even contend with it. The power of God behind it is one. But the level, if our churches ever come together to more organize or effort to the nation, and you should be able to tabulate that, you would see how much the church is of benefit to any country, any nation. I remember when I was pastoring in Jamaica, every Sunday the tithes and offering went out in lunch money and extra lesson monies and dinners for families and stuff like that. There is just so much that the church does. It does so much in influencing the children, so they walk away from wrong. So there's a lot of help. I know sometimes people talk about the church as if, the church is not helping and whatever. But there is really a lot that the church does for its community, the communities they serve, in keeping families together. There are so many times you have to be counseling parent and children or marriages. So the church really does contribute a lot. And I'm not saying the church is not doing anything, but I'm saying where the government is silent, the church needs to speak up. Where the government is not active, we need to act. Right? I'm calling on the Prime Minister. Mr. Prime Minister, do something. Lisa Hanna, say something. Say something. We cannot sit and continue to have this of the women and children are vulnerable and they're being preyed upon. The children are being murdered like what? We're treating them like animals. You think to put them on the serial killer plot downtown is enough? No. To be able to just have a name on that plot. First of all, I don't know if no space leave on it for nobody putting the name go on. Right? It's like a serial killer trophy in the ITA downtown. You think that can bring back anybody's kids? No, that's not sufficient. We want action. We want the crime to be curtailed. Something has to happen. There has to be justice. And when there's no justice, that's why people are resorting to jungle justice. It's not right because blood gets on everybody's hand. So you're mad at a killer, but then you become a killer yourself. But when there is no justice in the land, then people are going to want to take justice, because a part of grief is anger. And I can understand an angry parent wanting revenge. I totally get that. But if the government, or if our legal system, if the court does something, then of course we don't have to want to take justice in our own hands. Right? So these are just some of the things I want to say. I jot down my notes here. Children, if you're lost, stay lost. Not stay lost, but stay where you are. Don't try moving around, because it can complicate things. Get a call mommy, this is where I am. Look for a building or something, you can say this is where I am. So if you're lost, moving around will complicate the matter. So just stop somewhere and call your parent. Do not give your number, do not give your address to strangers. Stop talking to strangers online, on social media. Parents, check your children's social media ever so often. Snapchat is a crucial one. I don't know how popular it is in Jamaica, but it's very crucial, because even here it gives the police a lot of trouble, because I know as recent as a year and a half ago, when I read about it, police not able to even track the messages because they disappear in a short time and they're not able to track them. So if, God forbid, they make arrangement with somebody over Snapchat, that's it. So you need to know the apps that are on their phone so you can help them. We really have to talk to the kids. It's breaking my heart and I am not there. It's hurting. It's hard to sleep when you hear these things. When you watch the news, you see these nice kids, you know the pain that the parents are going through. Parents, tell the girls they're beautiful every day. Let them hear it every day. Let them never be tired of hearing how beautiful they are. Right? Why? When you do that, no matter which man tell them, say them pretty, they're not blown away by it. Why? Because I'm accustomed to hearing it at home, and I'm accustomed to hearing it from mommy, I'm accustomed to hearing it from daddy. Build their self-esteem. Most of the time when the kids' self-esteem are lowered, these little pedophiles tend to prey on them. And they tend to get somewhere because they're looking for love in the wrong places and they're looking for attention. Let them know they're beautiful. Teachers, Sunday school teachers, principals, you have the same responsibility. Children are in your care. You see them at school every day. Give them compliments. Tell them they're beautiful. Build their self-esteem. Build their confidence. We have work to do as a people. I am really tired of hearing these murders. The savagery against our children, this attack on our children. It really has to stop. It has to stop somewhere. And each and every one of us have a role to play. The Prime Minister not doing enough, there is something you can do. Gather the children at your community center and give them some safety tip. Talk to them. Churches, I'm asking you, June 2nd, let it be the day you give these children some safety tips. Talk to them. Invite the children from the community. Parents, bring them to your church on that Sunday and have some safety tip. Talk to these children. Pray over the children. It's really getting from bad to worse. Teach your children to satisfy. That's one of the problems today. I know kids are a lot more selfish today, and they're challenging. I can't dispute that, but it is what it is. We have to work with it. And you have to have hope for the children. You can't give up hope on them. Sometimes I see some of the posts on Facebook and it's like people are more concerned with where they were when they're found. Give me a break. If you are my child, if I find you with 1 hand or 1 foot, I am just glad I find you. I don't care. I would want to know where you are, of course, and I expect the parents to ask that, but I still expect whatever happens after that must be dealt with privately. Okay, you're not trying to embarrass the kids. It really doesn't help, You're not trying to break them, but you're going to work. Let me tell you something. I don't care how bad a child is. If they find love, you can turn them around. I remember when I was in Jamaica, my life was about working with children. And I remember 2 kids in particular. One was always running away, and every time they find her, she in a house with how much man. And everybody feels she couldn't change. And I took that girl, and I had her for like 3 years, and she never ran away from home. She never ran away in the 3 years. So I'm telling you, if you take them, if you show them love in the church, if you show them love at school, and give them hope and let them know that you expect greatness out of them, you can influence them. But the problem is that we as adults, we don't have enough love. And sometimes we think it's a war between we and the children, as opposed to seeing that we are there, God put them in our care so that we can influence them. It doesn't matter what is going on with them. I remember another one the community was afraid of. And everybody was like, I don't know how you talk to her. I don't know. This was a child. But, I mean, yeah, she was really out there. And people stayed clear of her. But for some reason, the Lord just impressed her on me. And I worked with her. And she changed significantly. She changed. And I'm telling you, that child had STDs from she was like 10 years old. But all she needed was love and attention. She never had any. She never had any. If you have enough love in your heart for the children that God put in your care, you will see change in them. It no matter how bad them is. It no matter how bad them is. Love can reach in some crevices and corners. I can tell you that. And I have testimonies upon testimonies with children. That's been my life work. I love children. And that's why I can't keep silent when I hear these things. Let me tell you the truth. Today is my day off. And I didn't plan for this. But it's hard to keep silent. When people are taking advantage of children, when they're abusing them, when they're hurting them, when they're raping them, murdering them, killing them. Come on, man. Good God Almighty. It's hard to keep silent. And that's why I don't understand the people in the power, with the power, in power and with power. You have the authority to make changes and you're silent at a time like this. Something seriously wrong with that. It's suspicious. The silence is suspicious. The silence is really heartbreaking. So, my word to you, not care about the pitney them be. Work with them. Help them. Help them. If you just need to maintain hope. You just need to keep hope alive. I want to talk to a parent. That child might be giving you a lot of problem and you can't do it. Find a pastor. Find a pastor to talk to that child and pray with that child. Find a decent policeman at the police station to talk to that child. And tell me if you don't see changes. Put them into some programs, right? I know back in the days, they had like these police youth clubs and stuff like that. And they really helped some of the children. They did. Put them in a police youth club. But we have to, things have to change. Children don't eat from strangers. Don't sneak out of your house. Wherever you're going, let your mother know. Let your parents know. It's very, very important. Don't make no plans with stranger. And don't let nobody touch you where it's uncomfortable, where they're not supposed to. Parents, talk to your children about these things. Question them. Ask them how about school, how their day. But we have to do something. And let me tell you something. Your social media account is free. And you might not have the influence to get on TV, get in the media, Gleaner, Observer, or wherever. And you might feel ignored, but put something on your social media page. You let your voice be heard. Talk to somebody. Talk on your page. Pastors, a brief message. Come on. We have to do. I don't like the silence. I don't like the silence. I really don't like it. Church, I know you're working hard. I know you're keeping families together. I know you're keeping marriages together. I know you pay some of the school fee. I know you paid some of the lunch money and some of the bills and some of the doctor bills, and no churches do all that. But it's not asking for money or anything. It's just asking, let your voices be heard. Tell the Prime Minister something has to be done about the crime. We have to do something. Something has to be done. Again, on the 2nd of June, I'm asking you, let that Sunday be Child Safety Awareness Sunday. And we have a corporate prayer for the children in our service, and we invite a police officer, somebody from Child Development Agency, somebody who comes into our congregation. You may even have those skills in your congregation already, but have somebody talk to the youth there about, give them some safety awareness tips. How to use social media properly. How you use social media. Talk to them about use of their phones on the road. Stop being so distracted. Say where you're going to your parents. Sometimes parents need the backup too. You're here and you work hard at home and you tell them all sort of something. When things happen to them, people swear because you never did a talk to them. I know that. I understand that. So when you go to church, it's nice when you get the backup at church because pastor talk to them, the minister talk to them, the elder talk to them, the church mother talk to them. You get the backup. They hear what you were saying at home and it's enforced. Or a teacher at school speak to them. The principal talk to them. But let us pull this community together to save the children. We have to pull them together. We have to pull them together. We have to pull a community together to watch our children. What happened to the community neighborhood watch them? People, every child is your one. You're not just the one them where you birth. You hear me? Every child is your child. You are responsible. You are responsible. Watch them. You see them on the road and are going with foolishness, say something to them. I know some of them face then is a different breed of children we're dealing with. But wherever you can and whatever you can do, do it. I see a nice video like recently with this man. He saw 3 kids on the street. He was in his car and he gave them money and whatever. And it really touched my heart because, you know, these sisters and brothers. And I'm like, oh Lord, you know, some families just really have it so hard. Just so hard. But this guy, he helped them, you know, gave them money to go to school. The only thing though, not give Pitney money. You know, find a way for probably stop. No, you're probably busy, and give it to the parent or something like that. Because you might be a very good person and you do that, but other strangers with bad intent use the same money and lure them. You know, I remember we had a meeting with Child Development Agency many years ago, when I had the children's home in Jamaica. And it's one of the things they asked us, not to give children money on the streets, because when they had them in the homes, it was very difficult to keep them. They kept running away because they were making so much money on the streets. Some of them was making like $4,000 a day from just standing and begging. And that is back then, $4,000 was a lot of money. So those are some of the challenges the government have when they're trying to work with the kids or keep them safe in these homes. So that's just a thought though, to bear in mind. But that is my word to you today. I'm sorry, me have to talk. I not live in Jamaica, but me have to talk. Me have Pitney. And one day I would like to come back to my country. You know, I would really love to come back home and live, you know, someday. But let me tell you something, my heart pain when I see wickedness happen to children. Anything else can go on and I'm not even bother pay it no mind. I not take up myself, but me I come do video, because I not really like the video. We do them, but it's not something I like. But I cannot ignore wickedness happening to our children. The injustice, the wickedness, the murder, the rape. 7-year-old Pitney. What happened to 7-year-old Pitney? I don't even know. Rape? Jesus, man. It's wicked. It's really wicked. So we have to put some measures in place. Make we talk till the Prime Minister here. Everybody no go do on Facebook Live till Prime Minister. So we must see one of them. He must realize that we're not satisfied. And June 2 no walk with on a placard them go to church. Wickedness. Make one placard give Pitney for care go church June Sunday. Somehow them need to understand that we've had enough. And this crime thing now go work. The island too small. I know people tend to get upset. And my last point. When we stay overseas and we talk about the crime on the vex, crime there everywhere, crime there America, I agree with that, crime there everywhere. Remember telling you something. Sometimes when I down there, I say the crime bad, God soon come, and Jamaica one gotta come. And there are many places where the crime not so bad. It bad America to an extent, and I think it's foolish to compare yourself with America. I live in Florida, 21 million people over here, and the population keep growing. Now, for Florida, at 21 million people, to have the same level of murders, you know, there's something wrong with that as Jamaica. And we murders not even as high as Jamaica. 21 million people. Jamaica don't have 4 million people yet. But yet people argue when you talk about the crime there. People talk about it because they're invested in their country. We're away, but we're still invested in our country. We're away, we send our money back there. You know, we want to participate in things there. We still have a voice there. We still have property there and stuff. People are still invested in their country. So they should be able to have a say, and it's because they care why they talk in the first place. So don't be offended that people are talking. And yes, crime is everywhere, but you cannot compare that small population to what is over here. Because it's a matter of time before it's your door knocked down, and now you're pitting them teeth and kill. It's a matter of time. Population too small, now we're not even there for hide. Here, it is so big, but at the same time, there is justice. There's in terms of when there's a murder, you know them are going to find the person. Fly high, fly low. Next 20 years, you go jail for it. 40 years, 35 years. Change your state, change your way you look, whatever. Then not stop investigate. But in Jamaica, I know so much family where experience murder, a family member murder. And to this blessed day, there is no justice. Them not find the killer. Why? In a one little country with 3.8 million people, you can't find the killer? So that is why people talk. It's not the same. And there are countries in the Caribbean where the crime not the way they are Jamaica. So people want to retire and come back home, but they might go elsewhere. because the people still need to feel safe. You come foreign and you work your money and you're tired and you want to go back to your yard. You want to go back home and you want to feel safe. So I love my Jamaican people, and every one of the pitney them down there is mine. So when I see foolishness are going on and people are wicked to them, me have to talk about. I can't stay home and shut up my mouth. Right? I cannot do that. Churches pray. It's spiritual, but then we have to put some practical measures in place for go and protect them till God answer. We have to put the practical measures in place. Because wicked people just a rain and a walk and, have no fear of God nor man. Prime Minister, do something, say something. Lisa Hanna, say something. Please, may I beg you, do. Opposition party, wanna say something, wanna talk. If the ruling party not talk, wanna talk. This cannot be made to continue. I'm pleading with the politicians. I'm pleading with pastors. Al Miller, no, you have a voice. Who else? TBC, I know they're always talking out. Keep talking, keep praying, keep doing what you're doing, over the island. But I believe that God will intervene. And moms, warrior moms, pray like never before. Pray your heart out, pray your belly out. Lie down on your belly and bawl out to God. Too much wickedness upon the land. And these men cannot be allowed to get away with killing our children, because they will never stop. It's like them watch how to get away with murder and them swear say that is it. Them know how to get away with murder. And because of that, they will never stop. Them not stopping. But I'm praying. I'm praying for the children. I'm praying for the parents, mothers and fathers. I'm praying. June 2nd, pray. And not only pray, but let it be a Child Safety Awareness Day at your churches, for your communities, not just for the members of your church, but for the children in your community. Invite the children, the schools in your community, speak to the principals, and have them invite the children out to that service. And, we trust God to do the rest. Have a wonderful day. God bless you.